The May 2022 Chalice Slime Monthly has come to a close, and is that Libromancer? What? Like 30% of you guys have not smashed the crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up the 100k ladder. MBT hosted the annual Chalice Slime Monthly here, and Top 16 paints a pretty interesting story here. Branded Despia being the most represented deck, not surprised about that. Everything that we've seen in terms of breakdowns and things for events tells me that to be true. We had two 10E Sword Soul decks in Top Cut, not surprised about that. Then we had two Sun Avalon. Honestly, Thurion Sun Avalon is one of the more interesting decks that you'll encounter on your journey playtesting right now. We had two Eldritch decks, not surprised about that. Now, the one-ups down here. ABC Thurion. We have seen ABC Thurion show up a couple of times at this point. Genuinely, it's not too crazy when it does show up, but it is a deck that I think a lot of players are going to be massively kind of scared to like mess around with, and your general interaction points are really, really powerful. We also had one Virtual World. I'm not surprised CVW performing and doing well right now. We had one Adagnister. We had one Punk Thurion. It's definitely interesting to see that Punk Thurion is adapting and doing as well as it is right now. We also had one Dinomorphia. Yeah, you gotta love trap shenanigans doing their best out here. And then we had the real rogue challenger out here, was Libromancer, running it all the way across to getting second place, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys are like all that crazy about Libromancer, but it is really cool to see one of the earliest successful builds of Libromancer doing well here. We also had Mech Knights as well entering on into the fray, but overall for this breakdown, a lot of meta, a lot of what we expected here, and a lot of interesting rogue sub-contenders here for this, which is very, very interesting overall. Let's pass it on into the top 16 deck list, shall we? Deck list Turbo Edition here. As you see here, we do have our first place winning list here. We have Talents, Droplets, and Lightning Storms in here for the standard board breaker stuff. Wind Synthana, Basic, and then we are main decking Change Your Heart. I think out of Minnesota was the only other regional that I saw the inclusion of Change Your Heart really kind of showing up. But outside of that, this is going to be a very standardized piece, honestly, for what you would expect for Sword Soul. This deck doesn't really get much more innovative than that. Next up here is your Libromancer list. Ben 10s with the Diviner of the Heralds for searching. Yes, we are also playing White Knight of Dogmatica and Libromancer Doombroker in here as our sub big guy to get to. Of course, we have the first appearances, and we have Libromancer Intervention as well. Use of the extra deck is quite interesting in here as well, but outside of that, I think Libromancer is a deck that a lot of people are probably just going to discount as something roguish, and you know what, did get second place. Top 4 here is our first branded list here. So we are playing one branded Lost, which is fine. Triple Super Poly's built into the main deck. We have triple Droplets in here. One thing I do find interesting is we are playing the triple Allure with only one Mercurier, and we are citing the Alba Lenitus. I guess the logic here is we are trying to play Trif Overtime, which, I don't know, I'd rather just swap that out. I feel like you get a little bit more value out of that. Continuing on here with top 4, we have our Virtual World list. Ooh, hey, guess what? You get Scythe Shenanigans. I will say the amount of Scythe Shenanigans that have been playing have been cut down dramatically, but we are doing Dragon Lark Pyron plays in order to access that. So it's a little bit more cute of an interaction. Actually, it's so cute I don't know if I would consistently do it, but it is something nonetheless to really consider. But that is your VW list for this. Next up, here's our first Sun Avalon list. Here's our standard Triple Borea, the one Regulux built into this. We are playing the Brave package. Honestly, the Brave package is the reason why this deck is getting the chance to even do anything. I want to be more optimistic and be like, oh yeah, but unfortunately, you know, you need the hard carry engine in here. I do see that we are doing Rika Fairy shenanigans in here. Thank you, Teardrop, for being a rank 8 that we can actually access and get good stuff from. Next up here is our Dinomorphia list. Wow, Dinomorphia control made it all the way up here. And remember, the big thing that's going to carry this deck is going to be Rexstrom. Alright, just burning yourself down to however many life points that you need. The cool thing is you can be a little bit more passive because you have Psalms and stuff, and then you can start dividing your life points via half. I hope you like seeing odd numbers when playing this deck in terms of life points, because you're going to get to some really weird shenanigans, and you're going to be like, oh no, like 13 life points? Yeah, it can happen. Next up here is our Adagnister list. Now, this is not going second Adagnister. This is more of your standardized list. I do see we are not meaning cross-out designators to kind of counteract some of those heavier hand trap-esque things that can ruin our day. And I think that's fine, honestly. Standard engines in here all the way around. Yeah, I don't see anything too left field here. This feels very standard for what I would consider an Adagnister list at this point. Next up is our Mech Knight list. Wow. We have triple. We are maining triple Night Beam. I really don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it does snipe a Brandon and Red off of the field so you can play the game. But most of these going second Mech Knight decks that I've seen developed, I don't think they'd really consider going down this option tree. Outside of that, it's really your most interesting thing. Besides, like, the Chalice is built into this, so this deck can have a chance to play. All right, top 16 shenanigans. Our next Sword Soul deck here. I see we are not playing Synthana. We are on triple Incredible Ecclesia. We're only on, 2 Heavenly Dragon Cycle and 2 Vessel, which is fine. We're citing triple Gamma Seal with the 1 Change of Heart. Okay. I also see that... there's not... I guess maining Ogre feels very time capsule-y as well, but that's not too bad. Alright, as we move on along here, we have more branded. So this is... We're maining triple McCurry, but we're not playing Allure. Excuse me. That's interesting. I see that we are playing the Light Hexsteel Fusion so we can Dragoon our opponent. Or, God, DPE as well. Okay. That's very interesting. Talk about a nice little homage. I feel like you should just be playing Double Fusion Destiny if you're going down this route. Like, one, I guess you can search it, but still. Alright, next up here is, oh my gosh, this is Magical Musketeer with Mystic Mine. Talk about a control pile of cards, ladies and gentlemen. So we're using the Magical Musketeer stuff to generate... This is our advantage engine, right? Like, has to be. Okay, so this is our advantage package, and then this is our little control package to devastate the opponent. I don't really have any words for this. This is cute. For this to make top 16 is very impressive. Alright, next up here is our next Sun Avalon list. Okay, so we have our little punk engine built in here as well. Standard punk package. Like I said, you are going to be playing your Brave package in this, so you can capitalize and play the game. And unfortunately, if you don't get to this, you're going to be struggling. The Necro Synchron is such a little interesting tech choice in here, but I guess it is an additional machine that you can have access to, so I guess that's kind of cool. Next up here is ABC Thurion. Kind of sad that this only made its way into top 16. We are down there's a Change of Heart. Triple Regulux. I do like the just pour 2A and then 3B and 3C. The funny thing is most people would put A at the 3 of and put C at the 2 of, but that's interesting. Triple Saucer for the triple searching of Regulux. Honestly, outside of that, there's nothing else too crazy for this list. Very standard. Next up is this our punk list? Okay, so the Punk Thurion. So standard punk shenanigans so you can make synchro plays and laugh at the opponent. So we have King Calamity down here as an access point. 2 Thurions charged for discard outlets, along with trade-ins. Okay, so we can get some real interesting stuff going on in here. And we are playing the 1 stand-up as well. I'm actually kind of curious to see if Thurion Punk will stick around as one of those more rogue decks for the time being. Next up here we have Eldritch Dogmatica. Oh boy, and branded. So this is what I consider to be one of the more standardized decks at this point for this format here, that you can kind of just pick up, have a good time with, and see the success just kind of roll with it. Because you have your standard Eldritch backing with all of your trap cards, you have your branded package, and then Ecclesia gets you into the floor/punishment engine so you can capitalize and punish the opponent. It all seems very straightforward, and I think it works out. And the last list we have here is a pure Despia deck. Actually, So sad it came all the way back here. 1 Branded Lost, triple Super Poly built into the main deck, the 1 Gold Sark for McCourier plays. No Allure Darknesses, only 1 McCourier. Honestly, outside of that, this is pretty straightforward. So there's your breakdown for the Chalice Slime monthly. So much info to unpack in one video. Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.